Now, chances are if you have a lawn that's 5,000 square feet or greater, you ended up at your local Home Depot or Lowe's because you were so sick and tired of push mowing the lawn, takes hours on end, ended up getting a riding lawnmower, discovered it only takes a half hour now, which is the right choice. However, you definitely get what you pay for, and in today's review, we're going to talk about the difference between the Toro Timecutter and the Toro Titan Max. So the question is what can the Toro Titan Max do that the others can't do? That's the real question. Why would you spend $6,000 as opposed to $2,000 or less? This is the Toro Timecutter. Now this is a 42-inch deck with a V-twin motor. Now the maximum cutting height is 4.5 inches, but it'll go all the way down to 1.5 inches. Now it's got 2 blades and it comes in at a whopping 502 pounds. Now this pretty lady's gonna set you back $2,899. This is the Toro Titan Max, coming in with a 60-inch iron forged deck. It has a Kohler Pro 26 horsepower commercial V-twin engine in it. Now she comes in at a whopping 876 pounds with 3 blades underneath her deck. Now this iron forged pony came in to slay large lawns. It'll do up to 7 acres. Now because of that, instead of having a 3-gallon gas tank like the Timecutter, it has a 7-gallon gas tank to keep you going throughout the day. Now the adjustable deck ranges between 1.5 and 5 inches, and this monster comes in at a whopping $6,299. Now Toro ended up giving me this Toro Titan Max, this $6,000 24.5 horsepower behemoth. Now since they gave it to me, I wanted to keep it pristine, nice and tight, you know? So I picked 100 perfectly manicured lawns so I could do this review of the Toro Titan Max. And it was...
Ginja, they know you better than that.
Yeah, it's probably true. Actually, what we did do is we took the roughest terrain that we could find and we beat the out of this Toro Titan Max. Probably can't say Rewind 6 months ago, and this is what our 2-acre lot looked like. It was just full of weeds and phragmites. The goal was to see how far we could push this Toro Titan, and we started off with a bang. Now we did a huge spring cleanup, getting rid of all the dead debris and just mulching it over and over and over. Now we felt like this is a perfect challenge for the Toro Titan for one reason. They market an unmatched blade speed of 18, almost 19,000 FPM. Now on top of this, it's built like a tank. The iron forged deck is actually 10 gauge steel. Toro put some 23-inch tires on this thing to outfit it right. Fast forward 6 months of consistent mowing, and this is what we're left with. Now, when you're going to be spending some cheese, right, $6,000, there's a few things that we want to look at, right? Number one is time savings. We know the Toro Titan Max does 11 miles per hour. Now, that's about half the speed of the world's fastest man. But how fast is it compared to the Timecutter? Let's see. How fast is the Titan? Fast enough to do wheelies. On paper, the Timecutter comes in at 7 miles an hour, where the Titan comes in at 9, but you notice the Titan is noticeably faster. Now, when you have a property that's 1.5 acres to 10 acres, you just don't know what you're gonna encounter. And a lot of times, like on this property, you're in the beginning stages where you're battling weeds. Now, we have a patch of thistle here that's extremely thick. Some of the pieces are up to 6 to 8 inches tall, 3 feet wide. It happens. Let's see how both of these mowers handle this patch. In an effort to keep everything fair and even during all these test patches, we kept the deck heights at 3 inches. We also decided to run these at half speed to 3/4 speed to make sure that we're getting the best cut that we can. So here's my observation when it comes to the thistle. The Toro Titan Max cut cleaner. It cut through all the weeds. Now, it did scalp, of course, when it comes to taking a weed from 12 inches all the way down to 2.5, 3 inches. But when it came to the Timecutter got a cleaner cut, but what I'm observing is a lot of the thistle actually got folded over, and didn't get a clean cut through. So for that reason, we give it to the Toro Titan Max.
Our next test is to see how well it cuts through some dense, overgrown turf type tall fescue.
So on your typical mower, even on grass that gets 6 to 8 inches tall, when you go into that, it starts to bog down your mower. This is as small as this field's gonna get at 6 to 8 inches, and it will still bog down most normal mowers. And this is our smallest setting we're working with today.
Now, obviously, the Toro Titan Max is the faster of the two. 11 miles an hour, it's no joke. It saves you a ton of time, and plus it does wheelies, so you can't compare it with wheelies. Now, it might be hard to see on camera, but there's a visible cut quality difference between the Timecutter over here, and you can see how yellow that line is, and then the Toro Titan Max. Very, very clean. Now, both did the job, granted, and we're scalping. Some of these areas like this one, we're dealing with 9-10 inches of grass. I mean, it's really, really long. The Toro Titan Max, clearly the winner on this. It's evacuating all the debris correctly, and the cut quality is nice and even. Now, the Timecutter's still no slouch. Keep in mind, patches of this grass are up to 6 to 8 inches long. This is not what the Toro Timecutter was meant to do. We've got the deck settings at 3 inches like we explained before, and so technically you'd be in a scalp situation. You wouldn't want to just do this. Now our next test is a little bit crazy. We're gonna take both these machines through these 4-foot fragmites just to see what's gonna happen.
You may think I'm on my knees or I'm just a real short guy, but as you can see, we've got 4 to 5 foot weeds we are gonna tackle. We're gonna give these guys a haircut and see if this Toro can mow these down today. Oh, like that.
Oh, just like that. That was a little ridiculous. Let's see our results here. As you can see, hey Connor, you did a great job kind of bogging through there. Are you still alive back there?
Oh yeah.
Still over there, okay. We didn't do much cutting, did we? No.
It went through pretty quick though.
Yeah, it did. But the Toro Titan Max, look at that. Look at that. We actually have a path. I mean, we went from 4 feet down to 3 all the way through. I think this time, let's slow it down on both machines, and let's just see what we can actually cut. It is so funny, right? The Timecutter is surprisingly doing a good job, but again, it's kind of just folding stuff over, and it's not cutting as much as you would anticipate. We're not actually cutting through the turf type tall fescue. We've still got a ton of it here. It looks like it was topped. I don't know how tall this really was. I didn't even know there was grass underneath here, but okay, Toro Titan Max, no comparison. Cut 90% of the debris. We still had a little bit of a folding over issue here, but we went down from 4 feet to next to, 2 by comparison to what it was. So really, really pleased with this. So when it came to the 4-foot weed section, we have to give it to the Titan. It really slayed this challenge. I mean, we've got 90% less materials through this cut, where I would still say on the Timecutter area, we've still got about 40% more material that need to be cut. So the Timecutter probably get through it. Another 2 passes, where the Toro Titan did it in 2. Now we also tested dense vegetation. Now you'd never guess, but these fragmites are up to 6 feet tall. Oh, hey Mr. Clayton.
This is what we're gonna tackle today.
So here's the challenge. We want to go about 30 feet. They're going to turn around, come back the other direction. As you can see, we visibly just lost Connor. Can't even see him. Clayton on the left here though, we're cutting along, we're putting along. Let's see how cut number 2 comes back, and then we can make our judgment calls. I gotta be honest with you, I'm shocked that you actually made it through and back. Like, I didn't think that was gonna happen. Clayton, not so shocked, but let's check the cut quality. All right, Connor's cut here. Looking pretty jungly. You can see the tire marks, but I don't think we're cutting much. I think we're folding for the most part. I mean, take it back. I mean, we're cutting some seed debris, but for the most part, it folded a lot of it over, but not a lot of cutting. Yeah, buddy.
Check that out.
Look at this.
Delivered.
Booyah! We actually got through it, and the debris got pushed out of the chute. I mean, there's visibly like a lot of cut material, and we can see the ground. I mean, that's how crazy this is. I mean, we got dirt, ladies and gentlemen. We got dirt. So I'd say one of the most important aspects of the mow job isn't the getting rid of the debris off the lawn. It's the comfort at which you're mowing, right? So what do you guys feel like comfort-wise? Timecutter, Toro Titan, let's talk about it.
It's got armrest. It's pretty kickback. We've got a roll bar. Got to stretch back and hold on to that. Really spacious in the cockpit here. These handles sit right nicely, so when I'm riding, I can put my armrest there. It's a pretty good vibe.
The leg position is a little far out, so you kind of have to slouch in the seat.
It's a little too far.
Yeah, so when you're hitting bumps and stuff, it's a little rough on the back.
Both of these are residential mowers.
Yeah.
Neither one of them have like hydraulic seats. Nothing crazy, right? But you're just saying this is a lot more stiff than this. Suspension-wise, what do you guys think?
Oh, 100% that one.
Really?
Yeah.
100% on the suspension. Okay. Noticing, you're saying that the leg distance is kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
And you're what, 6'2"?
Yeah, so when you put your knees up now, it hits.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah.
All right, guys, comfort, Toro Titan. What are you gonna do? If you've been wondering what we've been doing the last 6 months, we've been kicking the crap out of these Toro mowers. It's been my pleasure, and I gotta say, the dark horse in the room is the Timecutter. Overall, for a regular residential lawn, does a fantastic job, but once you get into that 1 acre to 5 acre plots of land that you may not mow for a couple of weeks, nothing better than having that Toro Titan Max. But if you guys have any questions, comments, or concerns, hit me up in the comments below. You know I'd love to help you guys out. Till next time, guys, it's the Pest and Lawn Ginja. We're slaying lawns.